Welcome to Dialed In.
Your all-access pass to the heart of memoryBlue.
In this series, we'll dive deep into the strategies,
Stories,
and successes that make memoryBlue the ultimate launchpad for a thriving career in tech sales.
From cutting-edge techniques to the culture and people driving our success.
Dialed In will show you why we are redefining what's possible in sales.
Let's get dialed in.
Hi, my name is Kelsie Edmonds, and I'm a Senior Managing Director here at memoryBlue. I went to James Madison University, and with that, I actually have a degree in speech therapy. So tech sales really wasn't on my radar, but I had a lot of friends that were moving to the DC area specifically, and it just kind of came out of nowhere, honestly. A lot of my friends were starting to get into it, and it was like, oh, there's money to be made, a career to be built, and I really hadn't considered sales. And so memoryBlue was actually one of the first places that popped up on my radar as I was doing some research. And I walked through the doors, I sat down for my interviews. I think one of the coolest things is, sales can be intimidating for a lot of women too, because it's been a male-dominated field historically. I remember as I was sitting there were probably 2 or 3 girls, that walked by and offered me a glass of water and said hello, and just having that representation there was something that it stuck out to me, and it really helped me make the choice of coming to memoryBlue. memoryBlue has given me so many amazing opportunities, all of the offices, the different people, the cultures, and not to mention, coming out of college and joining memoryBlue, I'm speaking with, chief revenue officers, head of sales on a daily basis, hearing their organizational goals and directions and things that matter to them. The opportunity to speak with executives about their goals and visions for their companies is an amazing experience that I don't think a lot of people actually get the opportunity to see firsthand until they've moved up in their career, years and years in. So having that immediate access, as an SDR, was awesome. And the cool thing is everyone that steps through memoryBlue's doors also has that opportunity. I think one of my favorite things that I actually learned in Women in Sales leadership program that I went through, I remember someone was like, it's okay to climb the ladder, but don't forget to throw that ladder back down to the person behind you and help get them up. I've worked for 5 out of the 6 or 7 offices that we have here in the US. And so, when I was in the Seattle office, one of the things that I was doing is I was gonna have to pass the torch down to someone to manage that office as I continued on my journey throughout memoryBlue. And Jordyn was the first person I thought of.
I was coming up on 2.5 years as a delivery manager, and I honestly felt like at that point, I had figured the whole thing out, right? My team was performing consistently. I confidently knew how to have all of the conversations with my clients. I was really, really proud of everything that I had accomplished as a DM. And at that point, I was really excited to kind of explore what other leadership opportunities I could potentially have within memoryBlue. So when I got the call about this managing director position opening up, I was so excited. I was honored. And then they mentioned that it was in Seattle and that it would require me to move halfway across the country. And I think for most people, understandably, that would be a really scary thought. And so they were like, you can take time to think about it, don't worry. I was like, nope, I'm there, sign me up. So about a week after that, I flew out to Seattle to meet the team and really get an understanding of what the next few years of my life could potentially look like. I remember walking into the office on the first day, and even though I had been with memoryBlue for 2.5 years at that point, I felt that same kind of baby giraffe feeling of really trying to get my legs to work again and figure out where I fit in. But it was such an amazing experience being welcomed with open arms by every single person in that office. I had great mentorship in being able to figure out how to actually run an office, especially since the biggest priority with me stepping into that office was to get the office to grow. A year later, we're the fastest growing office in the company, so no looking back.
Just the presence that she had, the people that she had mentored, and the way that people spoke so highly of her, and not to mention she had some of the best numbers in the company at the time too. So overall, the qualities that she expressed on the calls made her an easy choice. You know, I talk a lot about women needing to have a voice, but at the same time, it's important at a leadership level that we're giving them room and creating spaces for them to have a voice. Like, create the space for women to step into leadership roles. Just because they might not be the most outspoken on the team doesn't mean that they're not the most talented or a really good fit for that position.
I went my whole life thinking I was going to be a doctor. Did the whole pre-med path, all the internships, you name it. Once I graduated, I realized that I was really looking for something where I could have some work-life balance, I could start making money before I was 30, I could potentially explore some leadership opportunities, and that's really where I landed in tech sales. Knowing that I was coming into it with little to no knowledge of what tech sales even entailed, I was really looking for a company that was, number one, willing to take a chance on me, number two, that really prioritized the training and development of those transferable skills that I knew that I needed to be successful in this space. Being a female leader puts me in the position to be a really strong role model for not only the other women in my office, but anyone who feels like they're facing, maybe they have a couple of cards stacked against them when it comes to trying to be successful in this space. And because of that, my first and foremost philosophy is that I need to be leading by example. Whether that's, trying to make sure that I fully understand the person on my team and the why behind how they operate. Whether it's, making sure that I'm one of the first people in the office and that, I don't stop until, the job is done in the way that it needs to be done. I think it's really important for me in the position that I'm in to be leading everybody by example, because I am a role model and I need to treat my role that way.
It can be frustrating as a woman when you're just completely overlooked. People can be blind, and so for me, I learned that my language is such a powerful tool. It's changed a lot of the ways that I interact and how I show up and the assertiveness that I bring. I'm not gonna lie, I still think we have a ways to go. It's a male-dominated field, but the only way to get it as not a male-dominated field is for females to continue to pursue a career in sales.